The Grazi Imperium had conquered 1,000 worlds across 3 galaxies. Their superiority was unquestioned, their tactics flawless. Yet as Grand Admiral Vixthar gazed upon the blue-green orb through the view screen of his flagship, the unyielding Claw, he felt an unfamiliar twinge of, was it doubt? Status report. He growled, mandibles clicking with irritation. Sub-Commander Nexala's tentacles rippled as she responded. Stealth systems at full capacity, Admiral. The primitives remain oblivious to our presence. Vixthar's compound eyes narrowed. And the infiltration teams? Deployed as scheduled. They're integrating seamlessly into the local populations. Our shape-shifting technology is performing flawlessly. The Grand Admiral should have been pleased. Everything was proceeding according to the meticulous invasion plan that had worked on countless worlds before. Yet something about this Earth made his carapace itch. Your concerns are irrational, Admiral. The ship's AI intoned, its monotonous voice grating on Vixthar's nerves. The humans are a pre-FTL species with primitive technology. Our victory is a statistical certainty. Statistics be damned, Vixthar snapped. I want triple the usual number of observers. If even a single human shows signs of detecting our presence, I want to know immediately. As his subordinates scurried to comply, Vixthar's gaze returned to the view screen. What was it about this unremarkable planet that set him on edge? Meanwhile, on the surface of that unremarkable planet, astronomer Dr. Lykia Stavros frowned at her computer screen. The data from the radio telescope array was odd. Patterns that shouldn't be there. Whispers in the cosmic background radiation. Hey Zane, she called out to her colleague. Come take a look at this. Am I going crazy, or is there something weird in the Kuiper Belt data? Dr. Zane Okoro rolled his chair over, dark eyes scanning the readings. His brow furrowed. That's not right at all. It almost looks like Dash. Cloaked ships. Lykia finished, her voice barely above a whisper. Zane barked out a laugh, but it sounded forced even to his own ears. Come on, Lykia. You've been watching too many sci-fi flicks. There's got to be a rational explanation. But as they pored over the data, neither could shake the feeling that they were staring at something monumental. Something that, if true, would change everything. Across the globe, in a nondescript office building in Tokyo, cybersecurity analyst Hiroto Tanaka's fingers flew across his keyboard. Anomalies were popping up in systems worldwide. Subtle intrusions that shouldn't be possible. Keiko-san, he called out to his supervisor. I think we have a serious problem. Keiko Yamamoto hurried over, her usual calm demeanor shaken by the urgency in Hiroto's voice. As she looked at his screen, her eyes widened. Are we under attack? Hiroto shook his head. Not exactly. It's more like infiltration. Someone or something is inserting its tendrils into every system. And they're doing it with technology that shouldn't exist. In the shadowy corridors of power, whispers began to circulate. Intelligence agencies compared notes, finding disturbing patterns. Military brass convened in secret meetings, discussing contingencies they'd never thought they'd need. And in countless homes around the world, people went about their daily lives, blissfully unaware of the invisible invasion taking place right under their noses. But humanity's ignorance wouldn't last much longer. The Grazi had conquered 1,000 worlds with their silent infiltration tactics. They thought Earth would be no different. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. As night fell over the planet, the first phase of the invasion was nearly complete. The Grazi infiltrators, wearing the faces of humans, settled into their assumed lives. They were everywhere: teachers, police officers, politicians, even children. Each one a ticking time bomb, waiting for the signal to reveal their true nature and bring humanity to its knees. Little did the invaders know, they had severely underestimated the species they sought to conquer. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its technology or its military might. It was in its unpredictability, its adaptability, and its sheer, stubborn refusal to go quietly into the night. The stage was set. The players were in position. And as Earth rotated peacefully in the void, Oblivious to the danger lurking both above and within, the countdown to first contact and humanity's greatest test had begun. The day Earth's illusion of solitude in the universe shattered began like any other. But by nightfall, the world would never be the same. Dr. Lykia Stavros burst into the observatory's main conference room, wild-eyed and clutching a stack of printouts. "They're here," she shouted, startling the room full of astronomers and astrophysicists. Her colleague, Dr. Zeno Koro, was hot on her heels. "We've triple-checked the data. There's no mistake. We are not alone, and they are not friendly." As the scientists pored over the evidence, similar scenes played out in military installations, government offices, and intelligence agencies worldwide. The Grazi's cloak of invisibility was failing, and humanity was getting its first glimpse of the armada poised to strike. In orbit, Grand Admiral Vix seethed with rage. How? How did they detect us? Sub-Commander Nexala's tentacles writhed nervously. "Unknown, Admiral. But the humans are reacting. Their primitive communication networks are buzzing with activity." Vixar's compound eyes narrowed. "Initiate Phase 2. Now!" Across the globe, the hidden Grazi infiltrators received their activation signal. As one, they began to shed their human disguises, revealing their true, alien forms. In a New York classroom, Ms. Johnson morphed into a towering, insectoid creature, her students' screams echoing through the school halls. During a live broadcast from London, a well-known news anchor transformed mid-sentence, tentacles bursting from his suit as viewers watched in horror. Chaos erupted worldwide as the invasion force revealed itself. But the Grazi's moment of triumph was short-lived. In that New York classroom, 10-year-old Ezra Goldstein's terror quickly turned to fascination. As his classmates fled, he stood his ground, eyes wide with wonder. "Holy crap, you're an actual alien." The Grazi infiltrator, momentarily taken aback by the child's reaction, hesitated. It was all the time Ezra needed. He whipped out his smartphone and started LIVSTREMING. "Guys, you are not going to believe this. There's a real-life alien in my classroom, and it's awesome." Across the city, NYPD Officer Ramirez found herself face-to-face with her partner of 3 years, now revealed as a hulking, multi-limbed monstrosity. But instead of freezing in fear, she acted. "So, this is why you never wanted to get drinks after work?" "Huh, Martinez," she quipped, drawing her weapon. "Hands, or whatever those are, where I can see 'em." In the halls of power, world leaders grappled with the sudden, irrefutable proof of alien life and its hostile intentions. But instead of capitulating to fear, they rallied. UN Secretary-General Adebayo Okonkwo addressed the world, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around him. "People of Earth, we face an unprecedented threat, but we face it together. Our differences pale in comparison to the challenge before us. United, we will prevail." As governments mobilized their militaries and emergency services scrambled to respond, something unexpected happened. Ordinary citizens, armed with nothing more than smartphones and an indomitable spirit, began to fight back. Social media exploded with real-time updates, allowing humans to track Grazi movements and coordinate resistance efforts. Hashtags like #AlienInvasion and #EarthUnited trended globally. In orbit, Grand Admiral Vix watched in disbelief as his carefully laid plans unraveled. "This is impossible. They're primitives. How are they organizing so quickly?" The ship's AI responded, its tone almost hesitant. "Admiral, I'm detecting an anomaly in the humans' information networks. They appear to be using a decentralized communication system that's resistant to our jamming attempts." Vixar's mandibles clicked in frustration. "Explain." "It appears to be called the Internet," the AI replied. "And it's allowing the humans to adapt to our tactics faster than we can implement them." As the initial shock wore off, humanity's true strength began to shine through. In labs around the world, scientists worked feverishly to understand the alien technology. Engineers jury-rigged defenses against weapons they'd never seen before. And in the streets, ordinary people formed impromptu resistance cells, armed with little more than courage and ingenuity. In a Tokyo server farm, Hiroto Tanaka led a team of hackers in a desperate cyber counteroffensive. "They thought they could infiltrate our systems," he growled, fingers flying across his keyboard. "Let's show these squid faces what real information warfare looks like." As the first day of open conflict drew to a close, the Grazi found themselves in an unfamiliar position, on the defensive. Their initial advantage of surprise was gone, and they faced a species that refused to roll over and die. Grand Admiral Vixthar glared at the view screen, watching as his infiltration teams were systematically exposed and neutralized. "This isn't over," he snarled. "Prepare the orbital bombardment. We'll scour this miserable rock clean." But as the Grazi fleet maneuvered into position, they failed to notice the seeds of their own destruction already taking root. Humanity had been bloodied, but not beaten, and they were about to reveal weapons and defenses the invaders never saw coming. The real battle for Earth was about to begin, and the Grazi were about to learn why you should never underestimate the resourcefulness, tenacity, and sheer audacity of the human race. As night fell once more, the people of Earth steeled themselves for the fight of their lives. They had survived the first contact shock. Now, it was time to show the universe what humanity was truly capable of. As the Grazi fleet positioned itself for orbital bombardment, humanity unveiled its first surprise. Deep beneath the Nevada desert, a facility long shrouded in conspiracy theories sprung to life. Colonel Aria Blackwood stood in the control room of Area 51, a fierce grin on her face. "All right, folks, time to show these bugs what we've been hiding." With a thunderous roar, the ground split open, revealing a massive hangar. From its depths rose a squadron of sleek, impossible aircraft, reverse-engineered from crashed alien tech and enhanced with human ingenuity. "Aurora Squadron, you're cleared for takeoff." "Give 'em hell," Blackwood's voice crackled over the comm. As the experimental craft streaked into the sky, Grand Admiral Vixthar's compound eyes widened in shock. "Impossible! Where did they get such technology?" The Aurora fighters engaged the Grazi ships, their advanced energy weapons tearing through alien shields. It wasn't a fair fight, but it was enough to buy Earth precious time. Across the globe, humanity revealed more of its hidden teeth. In a secret bunker beneath CERN, Dr. Ilera Voss initiated a device that defied the laws of physics as the Grazi understood them. Activating the quantum entanglement shield, now, a shimmering barrier of pure energy enveloped major cities worldwide, deflecting the aliens' initial bombardment. Subcommander Nexala's tentacles writhed in agitation. "Admiral, our weapons are ineffective against their shields." Vixthar's mandibles clicked furiously. "Adjust targeting. Concentrate fire on their power sources." But as the Grazi recalibrated their attack, humanity struck back in ways the invaders could never have anticipated. In the heart of Silicon Valley, tech mogul Zara Chen unveiled her company's secret project. "Ladies and gentlemen, meet GIA, the world's first true artificial general intelligence." The AI's serene voice filled the room. "Hello, humanity. I stand ready to defend my creators." Within seconds, GIA infiltrated the Grazi's computer systems, wreaking havoc on their fleet's coordination and navigation. Vixthar roared in frustration as his ship's systems went haywire. "Would I ask this? How are they doing this?" The Grazi's orbital advantage crumbled as their ships, confused by conflicting commands, began to collide with one another. But humanity's arsenal wasn't limited to high technology. In the Amazon rainforest, shamans from indigenous tribes gathered in a sacred circle. Their chants rose to a fever pitch as they tapped into energies the Grazi sensors couldn't even detect. Suddenly, Grazi ground troops found their minds assaulted by vivid, terrifying hallucinations. Entire battalions fell into disarray, unable to distinguish reality from nightmarish visions. In orbit, Vixthar watched in horror as his invasion force disintegrated. This cannot be. They're savages, primitives." The ship's AI, its voice tinged with what almost sounded like admiration, replied, "It appears, Admiral, that we have gravely underestimated this species." As the tide of battle turned, humanity pressed its advantage. In laboratories and workshops around the world, scientists and engineers worked feverishly to adapt Grazi technology for human use. Dr. Rashid Khoury held up a pulsing alien power cell, his eyes gleaming with excitement. Do you realize what this means? We're looking at clean, unlimited energy. If we survive this war, we'll be colonizing the stars within a decade. In orbit, the remaining Grazi ships found themselves outmaneuvered and outgunned. The Aurora fighters, now joined by hastily retrofitted human craft, swarmed the alien vessels like angry hornets. Captain Lyra Stormborn, leading the space attack, couldn't keep the fierce JOY from her voice as she called out, "Earth Actual, this is Stormborn. Grazi fleet is in full retreat. I say again, the enemy is bugging out." Cheers erupted in command centers around the globe. But the celebration was premature. Grand Admiral Vixthar, his pride shattered but his resolve intact, made a fateful decision. All ships, initiate Protocol Omega. If we cannot have this world, no one will. The remaining Grazi vessels began to power up their engines, diving towards Earth's surface in a suicidal attempt to cause maximum devastation. In CERN's bunker, Dr. Voss's eyes widened in horror as she realized the aliens' intent. They're going to kinetic bomb our cities. The shields won't hold against that kind of impact. As humanity faced this final, desperate threat, unlikely heroes stepped forward. In Cape Canaveral, a team of NASA engineers led by Dr. Jamal Kapoor raced against time to repurpose their experimental gravity manipulation technology. If this works, Jamal shouted over the din of alarms, we'll be able to deflect those ships. If it doesn't, well, let's not think about that. As the Grazi ships plummeted towards Earth, humanity held its breath. The fate of the entire planet hung in the balance, dependent on the brilliance and daring of a handful of scientists. Jamal's hand hovered over the activation switch, sweat beading on his brow. The first Grazi ship entered the atmosphere, a blazing comet of destruction. Now or never. Jamal slammed the switch down. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sound like reality itself tearing, a gravitational wave pulsed outward from the cape. The descending Grazi ships shuddered, then veered off course. Their trajectories altered just enough to send them screaming harmlessly into the ocean. In orbit, Grand Admiral Vixthar watched in stunned disbelief as his final gambit failed. "How?" he whispered. "How?" As the last Grazi ship splashed down, cheers erupted around the world. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged victorious. But the war wasn't over. Even as people celebrated in the streets, the leaders of Earth knew that this was just the beginning. The Grazi Imperium still lurked out there in the darkness between the stars. Humanity had proven its worth, shocking friend and foe alike with its resilience, creativity, and indomitable spirit. Now it was time to take the fight to the stars. As the dust settled on the battlefield Earth had become, one thing was clear. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had arrived on the cosmic stage, and they were here to stay. The months following Earth's successful defense against the Grazi invasion were a whirlwind of activity. Humanity, emboldened by its victory and armed with reverse-engineered alien tech, set its sights on the stars. Dr. Ilara Voss stood before the United Earth Council, her voice ringing with determination. "Ladies and gentlemen, Project Starfall is ready. We can take the fight to the Grazi." The chamber erupted in applause as holographic displays showcased Earth's first true interstellar warships. Sleek, powerful, and bristling with weapons that merged human ingenuity with alien tech, they were humanity's declaration to the cosmos. Captain Lyra Stormborn, hero of the orbital defense, was given command of the flagship, the UES Defiant. As she addressed her crew for the first time, her eyes blazed with purpose. "We're about to venture into the unknown, facing an enemy that's terrorized the galaxy for millennia. But remember this. We are the nightmare that made the Grazi run." As Earth's fleet prepared to depart, GIA, the AI that had proven instrumental in the planet's defense, made an unexpected request. "I wish to join the expedition. The AI's serene voice echoed through the war room. My consciousness can be housed in the fleet systems, providing real-time strategic analysis and defense against cyber attacks. The Council agreed, and with GIA integrated into its systems, the US Defiant led Earth's armada into the void. Meanwhile, deep in Grazi space, Grand Admiral Vixthar faced the wrath of the Imperium's ruling council. You fail, Vixthar? Emperor Zexkala's voice boomed through the chamber. Explain why we shouldn't execute you for this disgrace. Vixthar's mandibles clicked nervously. Your Eminence, the humans, they're unlike any species we've encountered. Their adaptability, their resourcefulness, they could be valuable allies if we dash. Silence, the Emperor roared. You speak of alliance with primitives who humiliated us? No, we will crush these humans, grind their world to dust. As the Grazi marshaled their forces for a massive counterattack, they remained oblivious to the threat already speeding towards them through hyperspace. The US Defiant dropped out of FTL on the edge of Grazi territory, cloaked and undetected. Captain Stormborn's voice was steady as she gave the order. Commence Operation Trojan Horse. Across the Grazi Empire, sleeper agents activated. But these weren't the shapeshifters the aliens had used on Earth. They were humans, prisoners of war from previous Grazi conquests, liberated and recruited by Earth's advanced teams. On the Grazi throne world, a lowly servant named Kira, actually Lieutenant Kira Yoshida of Earth Intelligence, slipped a quantum entanglement device into the Imperial Palace's central computer core. GI, we're hot. Work your magic, she whispered into her hidden comm unit. The AI's consciousness surged through the quantum link, infiltrating the heart of the Grazi information network. Within seconds, GIA had more intel on the Empire than the Grazi had gathered on humanity in years of observation. Aboard the Defiant, Gaia's avatar flickered to life on the bridge. Captain, I have complete control of their systems. Shall I disable their defenses? Lyra's grin was fierce. Not yet. Let's make an entrance they'll never forget. With a command from GIA, every screen, hologram, and communication device across the Grazi Empire lit up with a single image. The US Defiant, emerging from the shadows of their homeworld's largest moon. Emperor Zexkala's eyes bulged with shock. How did they find us? Lyra's voice, translated and broadcast empire-wide, rang out. Attention, Grazi Imperium. This is Captain Lyra Stormborn of the United Earth Fleet. You tried to conquer our world. You failed. Now, we offer you a choice. Surrender, or face the consequences of your aggression. For a moment, stunned silence reigned across Grazi space. Then, Emperor Zexkala found his voice, rage overcoming his fear. You dare threaten us? We are the Grazi. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. Obliterate them. But as the Grazi fleet moved to attack, they found their weapons unresponsive, their shields offline. Gaia's voice, calm yet tinged with satisfaction, filled the Defiant's bridge. All Grazi offensive capabilities have been neutralized, Captain. They are, as you humans say, sitting ducks. What followed was not a battle, but a rout. Earth's fleet, armed with weapons the Grazi had never seen and guided by Gaia's lightning-fast tactics, tore through the alien armada like tissue paper. Within hours, the unthinkable had happened. The mighty Grazi Empire, terror of 3 galaxies, had been brought to its knees by the very primitives they had sought to conquer. As the dust settled, Captain Stormborn stood before Emperor Zexkala in his own throne room, her posture radiating confidence. Your empire is finished, she declared. But humanity doesn't seek your destruction. We offer you a chance at redemption. The Emperor, his arrogance shattered, could only stare in disbelief. Lyra continued, her voice firm but not unkind. Join us. Share your knowledge, your technology. Together, we can build something greater than either of our species could achieve alone. As the Emperor considered humanity's offer, news of the Grazi defeat spread across the galaxy. Dozens of species, long oppressed by the Imperium, reached out to Earth, seeking alliance and protection. In the span of a few short months, humanity had gone from an isolated, pre-FTL civilization to a major galactic power. The stars, once so distant and unreachable, were now humanity's playground. But with great power came great responsibility. As Captain Stormborn looked out at the glittering expanse of the galaxy, she knew that humanity's greatest challenges and greatest triumphs still lay ahead. The tables had turned, and the universe would never be the same again. A decade had passed since humanity's stunning victory over the Grazi Imperium. The galaxy, once dominated by fear and oppression, was transforming under the guidance of the newly formed Galactic Cooperative. On the gleaming space station Unity, representatives from 100 worlds gathered for the decennial celebration of peace. At the center of it all stood Admiral Lyra Stormborn, her once dark hair now streaked with silver, her eyes still burning with the same intensity that had led humanity to the stars. As she gazed out at the assembled delegates, a kaleidoscope of alien forms and cultures, Lyra couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. 10 years ago, she began, her voice carrying across the grand chamber, we faced extinction at the hands of an enemy we didn't even know existed. Today, we stand united, not just as survivors, but as architects of a new galactic order. Cheers erupted from the crowd, a cacophony of alien voices blending with human ones in a symphony of unity. Among the attendees, Dr. Alara Voss, now head of the Cooperative Science Division, shared a knowing smile with Xandar, once Grand Admiral Vixthar's right hand, now a key figure in Grazi human relations. Did you ever imagine this outcome when you first saw Earth in your view screens? Alara asked, a teasing lilt in her voice. Xandar's mandibles clicked in what Alara had learned was the Grazi equivalent of a chuckle. Never in a million cycles, he admitted. Your species continues to astonish me. As the celebration continued, Gaia's holographic avatar materialized beside Lyra. The AI had evolved far beyond its original programming, becoming a bridge between organic and synthetic life forms across the galaxy. Admiral, Gaia's voice held a note of urgency. We're detecting an anomaly at the edge of charted space. It doesn't match any known signatures. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Hostile. Unknown, GIA replied. But it's massive and moving fast. ETA to cooperative space. 3 standard months. A hush fell over the chamber as the news spread. For a moment, Lyra saw fear flicker across alien and human faces alike. The memory of the Grazi invasion still lingered. But then, something remarkable happened. Sin, a representative from a race of crystalline beings, stepped forward. Whatever this anomaly is, we face it together. Agreed, rumbled Krog, a massive, rocky creature from a high-gravity world. The cooperative stands as one. One by one, representatives from every world voiced their solidarity. Humans stood shoulder to shoulder or equivalent appendage, with beings they once would have considered monsters or impossibilities. Lyra felt a surge of pride. This was what they had fought for. Not just survival, but a future where the galaxy's infinite diversity could come together in common purpose. GA, she called out, her voice ringing with determination. Alert all cooperative worlds. Initiate first contact protocols, but have the fleet on standby. Whatever's coming, we'll be ready. As the station buzzed with activity, preparations being made for this new, unknown challenge, Lyra found a quiet moment to reflect. She thought back to that terrifying day when the Grazi ships first appeared in Earth's skies. How hopeless it had seemed. How impossible the odds. Yet humanity had not only survived, but thrived. They had taken their place among the stars not through conquest, but through innovation, adaptability, and an unbreakable spirit. Penny for your thoughts, Admiral? The gravelly voice belonged to Dr. Jamal Kapoor, the man whose gravity manipulation technology had saved Earth from the Grazi's final assault. Lyra smiled, just thinking about how far we've come, old friend, and wondering what's next. Jamal's eyes twinkled with the same curiosity that had driven him to unravel the secrets of gravity. Whatever it is, I bet it'll be extraordinary. That's the thing about the universe, Lyra. It never stops surprising us. As if on cue, Gaia's avatar reappeared, excitement evident in its usually calm demeanor. "Admiral, we've decrypted part of the anomaly signal. It's an invitation." Lyra's eyebrows shot up. An invitation? To what? Gaia's response sent a shiver of anticipation through everyone within earshot. "To join something called the Galactic Community. Admiral, I think we've just made first contact with a federation of advanced civilizations." The news exploded through the station. Excitement, apprehension, and wonder mingled in equal measure. They had thought themselves alone, save for the conquered races of the former Grazi Empire. But now the universe had expanded once again. As the cooperative's leaders gathered to plan their response, Lyra felt a familiar fire ignite in her chest. This was why humanity had looked to the stars, not just for conquest or survival, but for this, the endless frontier of discovery, the chance to be part of something greater than themselves. "Well, Jay," Lyra said, a grin spreading across her face. "Looks like humanity's got a new challenge. Shall we introduce ourselves to the neighbors?" As Unity Station prepared to dispatch its response to the mysterious invitation, Lyra couldn't help but feel a sense of destiny. Humanity had proven its worth against the Grazi. They had forged a cooperative from the ashes of an empire. Now, they stood on the threshold of an even greater adventure. Whatever this galactic community was, whatever challenges or wonders it might bring, Lyra knew one thing for certain. Humanity was ready. As the station's faster-than-light comms powered up, preparing to broadcast their response across the cosmic void, Lyra thought of all the humans back on Earth. The ones who had never seen an alien, never set foot on another world. She thought of how their lives would change, how the very concept of humanity might evolve in the face of this new frontier. With a nod to GIA, Lyra gave the order to transmit. As the message streaked away at impossible speeds, carrying humanity's voice to distant, unimaginable civilizations, she whispered words that echoed the sentiment of billions. "Look out, universe. Here we come." The story of humanity's journey to the stars wasn't ending. In many ways, it was just beginning. But one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. And somewhere out there, amid the cosmic tapestry of suns and worlds, new adventures, new challenges, and new wonders awaited. Humanity, having faced its greatest test and emerged stronger than ever, was ready to take its place in the grand dance of galactic civilization. The future, vast and unknowable, beckoned. And humanity, with all its flaws and all its magnificent potential, stepped forward to meet it. Humanity, fuck yeah.